Okay, team, so I'm up on my rooftop. Check this out. Unbelievable. Okay, so this is going to be an interview with one of my recent clients, Ollie, who we started working together about 6 weeks ago. Some construction down there. And in the last 6 weeks, it looks like he's close to having closed $80,000 worth of new business for his coaching business. It was an emotional interview, very emotional, and I think it'll give you a really cool glimpse of what it's like to take risks on yourself and back yourself, and for them to pay off. Hope you enjoy. Ollie Carson, how's it going, man?
Dude, thank you so much for having me on.
It's been, I think, like 6 weeks now since we started working together. Something like that, isn't it? It's like 6 weeks?
Yeah, just a little over 6 weeks. It's 7 weeks now. But yeah, man, what a roller coaster it's been, man. I'm excited to chat to you about this. This is cool.
So I had one of the most surprising kind of moments the other day was when a friend sent me a video of you on your channel saying, Tom made me $60,000 in like 5 weeks. And it was a video of you talking about you crushing it over the past like 5-6 weeks. And I was like, well, this is incredible. Like, this is absolutely sick. So, okay, Ollie, we're going to chat about that today. So we, in the past like 5-6 weeks since we've worked together, is that correct? It's like, you kind of launched your new offer.
Mhm.
And dude, just tell me, like, how have the last like kind of 5-6 weeks been?
Man, where do I begin? Yeah, $60,000 is I guess that's the spotlight headlight number that we're gonna dial in, but it's so much more than that, dude. It's like the clarity that I have now about where I'm taking my business and what I want to do it's invaluable. Like, genuinely, man, like the passion that I have for what I'm doing now is invaluable. But yeah, 5 weeks, 60K, and more importantly, just in love with what I'm doing again. Like,
Oh yeah.
From the moment I started working with you, dude, and like more than anything else was just like having an insight into how you operate and having like a really deep realization, like, yeah, I'm playing small. Like, genuinely, you know, I'm happy to admit that. Like, I feel like what I was delivering prior to working with you was embarrassing in comparison, you know.
Okay.
And it massively shone a light on what I've been doing.
Well, okay. So we'll dig into this because, I think that's a really cool realization, and I'm seeing how you've taken that inspiration and just ran with it. Sometimes, actually, I think all of the time, this is a really big lesson, is that when we're working with and we invest in mentors, all I'm looking for ever is I'm just looking for one spark. I'm looking for one thing that is going to be the key to unlock the next level. I'm not looking for someone to hold my hand. I'm not looking for someone to fucking like, pat me on the back. I'm looking for a single key. Sounds like you found that key. Do you should we start with like talking about what you were doing before, and give people a kind of a bit of a background. So could you explain what you were doing before we started working together?
Yeah, for sure. So I built my business, Supercharge Fit Pro, to, you know, decent cash each month. I had multiple team members, and this is part of my story now that I often share in my marketing, right? Because it's like the thing that I'm selling to the guys that I work with is my story and my experiences and how I want a better life for the guys that I work with. But I ended up becoming like a glorified manager. You know, I had lots of team members, razor thin profit margins, and the model was like one-to-one consultancy and coaching, but it was delegated to sub coaches. The sub coaches also took the sales calls and all that kind of stuff. So it was quite messy, you know, if I'm completely honest with you. And we were good at getting clients results, but I was so detached from the daily operations of working with clients that I just felt out of the picture
Mm.
entirely. Like I just didn't have my finger on the pulse in the way that I would have liked. And that was just basically from following bad advice, really, from previous coaches, etc. Is just like generic advice of hire more team, do this, run more offers, do this, da 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 da. And I just got to a point where I was like, fuck this, man. This is shit. I don't want to do this anymore. And then that's kind of like at the time that I started finding your content, man. And I binge consumed YouTube, followed you on Insta, was watching your whole message about building this creator business where you can be a one man or a two man band, you can deliver at scale, you can have the freedom, and it just spoke to my soul. I was like, I need this. I need this. So yeah, then the rest is history, as they say. And like I say, the moment that I came in the doors of what you're doing here at Scale 20, it just opened my eyes massively to what I needed. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
this is what I need to be doing. This is how I need to do it. You know, and it just lit a fire under my ass. It's amazing because like my friends, my family, my wife, they've all seen like a noticeable change in me. You know, like forget the business, like they've seen a change in me from the moment that I started working with you. It's like I'm excited to work again, which is that's invaluable for me, dude.
Yeah, look, ultimately, like I think about this a lot when I think about what is the whole point of everything that we do. Um, and I keep coming back to the same feeling, is I think we just need to wake up fucking stoked. I just think it's that simple. I think it's not about, you can make it about the money, you can make it about all of these, you know, you can make it about objects, you can make it about things, which I think is totally valid. But like underpinning all that, are you just waking up excited as fuck to do what you're going to do that day? And I think we probably now struggle with. I was thinking about this today. One of my problems is that I got a Whoop recently,
Mm.
and it's been telling me that I'm every day I wake up and it's like, okay, you got like 7 hours of sleep, 6.5 hours of sleep, or whatever. But it tells me I need like 10. It's like I'm like every day it's like, you know, you're like three short of what you need. And I think I've like started been doing this for the last few weeks, and I've asked some people, I'm like, is this normal? And part of it is I think I am I struggle to sleep because I'm just so excited about waking up and getting to do it all over again.
Dude, I've been I probably shouldn't. This is like I'm in danger of sounding like I'm preaching hustle porn here. But from the like for the last 6 weeks, there's been days, no exaggeration. I'm not like saying this to make me like all big I am, but I've been waking up at like 3:30 to work on the project and to build what I want to build and to deliver something exceptional to my clients off the back of the work that we've done together. You know, it's like I am that excited about working that I get up at 3:30 in the morning, you know, just to facilitate this. And it's not a chore. I'm not like, oh,
Yeah.
woe is me, 3:30 in the morning. Like genuinely, like I'm getting up pumped. I mean, I've got some modafinil down here, smash a can of Newtonic, and I'm away. You know, it's great.
Dude, like, you know, I'm the same. I wake up at 5, and I tell people that, and I remember I used to think, I remember my uncle used to wake up at like 4 or 5 a.m. and I was like, that's madness. Like what?
That's airport timings, isn't it?
Yeah,
Going on holiday
yeah.
timings. Yeah.
It's like what, why? And I finally get it. And
Mm.
the truth is, it's just about alignment. It's like you are now, you've you've got the skill set. And I think this is why, you know, the truth is that your success over the past 5 weeks and 6 weeks is I've shown you what's possible, and I've shown you kind of like the kind of the roadmap to do it.
Mm.
But it's your skill set. You're a very highly skilled entrepreneur. You've been doing this for a while. And you can just you just know what you need to do. So you just got to work. And that's something that, like, you know, it depends where we're all at in our journey, but it starts with that moment where you just be like, okay, I need to change something. Um, uh, what was that like for you? Like, what was the moment where you're like, okay, it's now time? let's give this a crack, let's roll the dice, or what? And what was that feeling like? What was that decision kind of process for you?
Yeah, I recognize, and you probably recognize this in yourself when you invest in someone new, or a new course, or a new mentor, business coach, whatever, right? It's that the moment the value exchange happens and you're in, it's like exactly as you said, it's that feeling of it's go time. And I basically got to a point where I can honestly say I was on the cusp of just sacking the business off. I was exploring options to like go and work with, my wife's dad has a business. I'll go and work with him. You know, it's just like an easy out. I was genuinely exploring those options because everything that I'd done up until that point, I'd made loads of money and I'd had success and all this kind of stuff. But as you said, I was completely out of alignment with what I was doing day to day. Like, it's like, this just isn't enjoyable for me. I can say goodbye to the money because I don't want to live my life this way. And then and you really, I haven't really told you this, but you really were like my last ditch attempt. You know, I'd watch
Wow.
your YouTube videos and I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to give working with Tom a crack because I jam with his content. I like what he's doing. Let's just give it a go. So it's just like, fuck it, let's try it kind of situation, you know? And then and it was like, it was instantaneous, dude. It was just like the way that you handled the onboarding with me, you know, the comms that we had on social media from that moment moving forwards, everything. Like it re-showed me why I got into this. I was like, this is what it's about, man. This is how you work with your clients. This is how you make your clients feel when they come on board with these things. You make them excited, you know, you build these connections. I was like, I want to do this again. Like, when did I lose sight of this? And so it was instantaneous, man. It was instantaneous, the light bulb moment.
Dude, incredible. I mean, I have to like, I get emotional every Monday when I read through everyone's Monday wins. And that's like one of my like tracking mechanisms to keep my finger on the pulse of how all of you guys are doing. It's essentially making you guys responsible for check-ins, which I think is the better way. That's the better way around, to do things. And I read these things and I get emotional because I see when I spoke about this last night on my Instagram. I was like, I get to see when the switch gets flicked, and all of a sudden, it's fucking sick because I see it with every client. Every client has this moment, and it's like it all of a sudden it's like it's just like ease now. There's like no, the stress goes, the worry goes, the anxiety goes, and I see them on calls and they're just smiling. And
Yeah.
it's like, instead of it being like when typically before that switch gets flicked, their face is like kind of screwed up. They're like listening intently. And then it's like a switch gets flicked and they're just like sitting back, chilling, and they're just like enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
And does that kind of relate to you, that kind of feeling?
Yeah, 100%, man. I'll tell you the most transformational moment for me is I shared this with you actually, but I'll share it for the people watching this, is you made me do the like the alchemy of self type process, right? Where you write out, you know,
Mm-hmm.
your current identity and that kind of thing. I got up at 3:30 in the morning that morning, not to work, but because I had a bad back from jujitsu and I couldn't sleep. So I got up and I went for a walk. And actually prior to, you know, you introducing me to this kind of way of thinking, like, how do you want to show up in the world? How do you view yourself? How do you speak about yourself? What is your internal dialogue? I kind of looked at that stuff as a little bit woo-woo, which I think a lot of people probably do.
Yeah.
But I'm the same as you in that if I'm working with someone and they tell me to hop on one leg 3 times a day, tapping my head and rubbing my belly, I'm going to fucking do it because like, I just want to get the result, right? I'll just implement. So I was like, it was 3:30 in the morning. I've made my identity document and I was reading it to myself, walking in the rain. And I got about halfway through it and I just broke down in tears. And I was just like, what the fuck is happening? It's 3:30 in the morning. I'm walking in the rain, doing this thing that Tom's told me to do. And it was like the most powerful thing that I'd experienced in over a year. Like it genuinely moved me. It makes me emotional now. I try my hardest not to cry. It's fucking, it's crazy. I'm so far away from where I was. I was in a really bad place, man. Fuck, this is going on YouTube. um, I get emotional because people say like this has changed my life. It genuinely has. It genuinely has changed my life, man.
Dude, you changed your life. Like that's the actual, like, the learning here is that it was you who did this. You know, you were the one that made the decision to go with a, whether it's like the last attempt, um, but ultimately it was always inside you, and you found the way, you found the path. I gave you some tools. That's all I did. And it's, you know, it's your work ethic, your desire. And I think like what what I think the experience that you had uh was for maybe the first time in a while, you you probably saw, and this is the whole point of that exercise, is to get you actually making a really sick vision about where you're heading.
Yeah.
And that is, I know exactly what it feels like, because I read and I listen to my new identity statement most days. And when you finally get that feeling of like, I can see it now. I can see where this can go. I can see where I want to go, and it feels aligned to you. Um, it you kind of feel like you've won.
Yeah, man.
That's how I feel. Like it's
Yeah.
finally, it's, and to match that with the feeling of like kind of letting go. Like I call it like I say like loosening the grip on the handlebars.
Yeah.
That's the big kind of the unlock that happened to me, you know, early last year, which was this switch from kind of feeling like I'm gripping on really tight, and I'm like,
Mm.
I have to like brute force my way through by working 16, 18-hour days, by, you know, working every day of the weekend, by sacrificing all of these things. And then all of a sudden just being like, no, just let it go. Just like, it's good. You've got, you know, you live in an amazing house. You've got beautiful children. You've got an incredible like partner. You've got everything that you want. And like, it's, once you've realized that, it's kind of, you just realize you've won already. Like
Yeah.
you've won. And now it's about, okay, how can I help other people feel this way as well?
Exactly. That's the cool
Right?
thing.
Yeah.
That's where it the fulfillment has been amazing, man, because like what I've been practicing now, going through the process myself, and like seeing my clients already having the same shifts and having the same experiences that I had, and like seeing it all playing out the way that I want it to play out. It's like, fuck, man, this just came at the perfect time. It's such a relief, dude. Honestly, it's such a relief.
Dude, and I said this to you. I said this to you in a message, and like, you know, we're not trying to like fluff each other up here, but you know, I feel like I'm in such a sick position, because I genuinely feel like I work with people, all of my clients are people who, they're all like super interesting characters that have superpowers in all of these different realms. And so I just get inspired by everyone. You know, this is not like, again, not to sound like fluffy and stuff, but like that's why I feel like I've got the best job in the world, because I look at you and I look at like, you know, I look at your story and what you've done, and I'm like, fuck, like I feel, it makes me feel like I've done nothing. I'm like, I look at the shit that you've done, and the person you are, the you know, the husband and father that you are, and that inspires the hell out of me. So I'm like, okay, so let's, no more crying from either of
No more
us.
crying, man. That's well out of my system now.
Like, let's move on past. Let's like make sure that we're not just in floods of tears,
Yeah,
and we're not going
exactly.
to fluff each other up. Let's talk about like practical stuff. So you relaunched your offer,
Mm.
and I'd love to know a little bit about like the practical elements of that, like what you
Yep.
did, and to make, and you made $60,000 in like 5 weeks.
Mm.
I think I have to remind I no I don't even have to remind myself. I feel like I'm naturally good at this now. We operate in this realm where like that type of money it's insane. I think I said this to you in a DM. I was like, dude, remind yourself, you just made like 60 grand in like 40 days. If you imagine going back and telling your like 18, 19, 20-year-old
Yeah.
self to be like,
Yeah.
dude, just a heads up, someday and not too far away. Like when we're not talking like when you're 60 here, you're going to be doing this. And like, I'm like, I wouldn't have been able to like comprehend that.
No, it's crazy. I mean, it wasn't long ago I was making under 2 grand a month in the military, So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, the practical steps were, dude, it's just easy. Like it's funny. Like you said, I had a lot of the ingredients. I kind of know what I'm doing. I
Yeah.
can sell. I know
Yeah.
I can work around systems. I kind of knew what I was doing in that way. The real unlock was, there was a few unlocks. Number one, you helped me with the marketing in getting really clear on, like, there was one thing that you said in one of your trainings that really, really resonated with me and like made me think about things completely differently. And it's like, you said, who are you throwing stones at? I was like, oh, that's interesting. Who am I throwing stones at? And like that one thing, I genuinely put a lot of the success of the launch down to that one thing. It's like, because I wrote it all down. I was like, who am I throwing stones at? I got really clear on what I wanted this program, this new offer to be about, who it was for, who it absolutely wasn't for, why it was different. And I just started throwing stones. And the amount of conversations that I had with prospects who were just like, dude, that post really resonated with me. I really don't want that myself. Can we have a chat? And it just like, I was like, oh, I've cracked this. I've cracked the marketing angle for this
Yeah.
new offer, So that was awesome.
Hell yeah. Can you give like a little bit of specifics around that?
Yeah.
Like for someone, when we say like throwing stones, what does that mean? And can you give an example of what that is for your offer, for example?
Yeah, for sure. So the idea that like, you're not necessarily trying to tear individuals down. You're trying to tear down methodologies, approaches, beliefs of things that you stand against. It's like trying not to be vanilla, get off the fence and actually have an opinion on something and attract, magnetically attract people towards you who have similar opinions and beliefs. And I think I've always been a little bit vanilla with my marketing up until that point.
Okay.
And so I started throwing stones at, fitness business coaches, which is essentially the realm that I operate in. Fitness business coaches who do everything that I did in 2023. And this was the cool connection, is that I kind of pulled the two together. So I was like, look, they just tell you to hire more team, to delegate everything to a VA, to cold DM people, to do all of these things. And I just started throwing stones at what other fitness business mentors do, because I know what they do. I know what
Yeah.
everyone does. I was like, guys, there's another way to do this. There's a way where you can make the money and not do the cold DMs and not do da da da. And I just got really, really good at the messaging. And yeah, it just unlocked conversations with people who were already in my pipeline, who kind of knew what I was about, but didn't necessarily know that I had those opinions.
Dude, I mean, I talk about this a lot. So yeah, like if you are not sitting on one side of the fence, um, your marketing will just go over the heads of everyone. You just if you sit on the fence, you don't actually have a brand. And this is why like the biggest brands in the world, like you look at the likes of Andrew Tate, it's because he is so hardcore on one side of the fence that it is super clear what his kind of concepts, what his methodologies, his perspectives and opinions are. And the clearer that you are in your marketing messaging, the more your marketing is going to be able to penetrate through to the right people. And that's ultimately what this is about. Like I know Ollie's on this path now. I'm now at a point in my business where I now no longer have to worry about headache clients,
Mm.
people who are potentially going to be a bad fit from a culture and values perspective, because I've put so much content out there and I've been so clear about what my perspectives are and my opinions are. It repels people who are not going to be a good fit to work with me. And it means that now I just operate in this environment where I feel like my client base is just a best friends group. It's just a group of like people who just vibe completely, and that's the sickest thing. Like, and I think it's until you've experienced it, you can't really, it's tough to like understand. But from going from a you know, uh, I've had to make, I've had to give like, I've had to give one refund to someone, like, and that was like 18 months ago when I first started the business. And that's because someone just found my stuff, was kind of feeling like they needed help desperately, and they just hopped in that the same day. And a couple of months later, it was like they finally realized, they're like, oh wait, this is Tom. This is who he is. This is what he does. And it was like, it was kind of like, and now I don't ever have that, and you're going to have that too. And that's the most awesome thing. There's one thing I want to talk about now, because this is kind of, I'm interested, because the context of this is we're about to have, after this, me and Ollie are going to have our like one-on-one blueprint call where we're going to map out a game plan for the next phase for him. So I want to know where you want to go. Where are you going? Where's this going? Like, you kind of had like you've had 4, 5, 6 weeks to kind of get a bit of a foundation. But this is the kind of cool thing about this model, is that you can scale it pretty damn high and make significantly more money than the model that you were using, because it's way higher profit.
Yep.
So I'm curious to know, like, where's this going, dude? Like, what do you think?
To the fucking moon, man. To the moon. Yeah. We're talking,
Let's go.
Talking, yeah, 6 figures a month, multiple 6 figures a month, working with perfect fit clients, people that I jam with, people I really like. And yeah, man, like, no stress, no big bloated teams, none of that, because I've been there, done that. I've got the t-shirt. I don't want that again. So yeah, I genuinely believe that the product that I'm in the process of building is world-class with your help.
Yep.
And now it's just about throwing coal on the fire and implementing your flywheel strategy and getting the traffic, getting the eyeballs, and helping people. Like, that's the cool thing is that it's a win-win-win, right? Everyone wins. Like, I'm making sick money, working with great people. They're making great money. Everyone's happy. So yeah, like, it is the
best, isn't it, dude? That's incredible. Okay, so how about we let's put together the battle plan, man. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Okay, right, Ollie, we're gonna wrap that up. Next time, maybe if you see me and Ollie speak, I think we're gonna have some more stuff to celebrate. Is that right?
Yeah, let's do it. And hopefully there'll be no tears, or it might be
no tears.
Who knows?
Okay, right. That is a wrap. Thank you very much, Ollie. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. That was, yeah, like I said, emotional. Ollie's an incredible dude, and this is just the start for us. We've got a huge journey to go on together. If you're potentially interested in joining Ollie at Scale 20 and essentially getting me as your business partner for the year, for the next 12 months, links down below, DM me on Instagram, and I will send you the details. That was sick. I'll see you in the next one.